What is going on, everybody? It's Georgia Bulldog Will here, and I'm recapping the final game of the 2022-2023 New York Jets football season. And, well, yet again, the Jets fall. They lose. The Jets lose to the Dolphins 11-6 in Miami. How they got that 11th point? Well, on our final play where we were lateraling and throwing it all over the place, the ball pretty much bounced into the end zone. I think it bounced out of the end zone, so that made it a safety. So they got 2 points, and then the final score was 11-6. So yeah, so the Dolphins beat the Jets 11-6. With that win, the Dolphins clinched a playoff spot after New England lost to Buffalo. So, good for the Dolphins. I'd rather have them in the playoffs than New England. But then they have to play Buffalo, so that's a pretty big game for the Dolphins. Well, I'm just gonna go on with how this season has gone. It's been an interesting season for the Jets. I mean, why hasn't this thing started? It's been an interesting season for the Jets. They got off to a pretty good start. I mean, yeah, they lost the first game. They beat Cleveland. They lost to Cincinnati. And then they beat Pittsburgh, and then that's when the Pittsburgh game is when the Jets got off to a good got off on a good. They kind of went on a good winning streak. They got on a hot streak there, and they end up winning. Well, they beat the Dolphins at home. They beat Green Bay on the road, and they beat Denver. In Denver, so they go up to 5-2 entering the New England game, and then the New England game, the first one, that is just where things went downhill for the Jets. I feel like that's where everything was just lost, because we lost Breece Hall, we lost AVT, and the JFM penalty was probably the turning point of the season. If we would have beaten New England, that could have made a big difference to how our season could have ended up, but instead, no, just same old Jets fall apart. They give us hope, but then they fell apart, and now we enter yet another offseason, not making the playoffs again. Haven't made it since the 2010-11 season. And right now, we have another quarterback carousel on our hands because we started 4 quarterbacks. Or no, we started 3. We didn't start. Strevler never started a game, but we played all 4 of our quarterbacks this regular season, and now we finally can watch Jets overtime. All right, here we go. Boom. So yeah, the Jets. They couldn't find ways to win. They couldn't find ways to win after the Buffalo game, the Chicago game. The wheels just fell off for them. I mean, yeah, so it's been an eventful season. It's been an eventful season for the Jets. Been an up and down roller coaster, When Mike White came in against Chicago, that's where we kind of got hope. After the Chicago game, we got hope again that this could be where the Jets turn their season around and they start making a push for the playoffs. And then they lose the rest of those games. Close losses though. The worst loss was Seattle. So I'd say I'm gonna rank the losses. I'd say The worst, the least worst loss was probably Minnesota. I'm gonna say it was that one. Not by score differential. I'm just saying by the way we were able to make a clutch defensive stop and get the ball back and try and get a game-winning touchdown. Um, what I'll rank above that one is Buffalo because Mike White played. He played through 2 hard hits to his ribs. I mean, his ribs were not good. I mean, he had to go to the hospital after, and yeah, things weren't looking good. Then I'm gonna put Detroit because terrible clock management, and well, defense played pretty good. Zach Wilson didn't play too bad, despite throwing that one interception. He made some good passes. So I mean, hey, that was probably one of his best games this season. Um, then I'm gonna rank Jacksonville because, well, I'd say Jacksonville is probably next because we did get off to a good start in the Jacksonville game with Quinnen Williams um, getting that strip sack on Trevor Lawrence, but after that the wheels just fell off. And then the worst game out of these last 6 games was without a doubt. Or wait a minute, no, number 2. Sorry, I got a two more. Two more. Number 2. Actually, wait a minute. No, I'm going to say I got to put Miami down. Like, I'm going to put Miami above. I'm going to put the Miami game above the I'll put it below the Detroit game, but I'll put it above. Geez, get the screen fixed. But put it above below Detroit, but above, like, above Buffalo, I'd say. I'll put it above Buffalo. I think this was a good offensive game for the Jets. I think Flacco didn't play too bad today. I think Flacco was pretty good. Flacco was good. Flacco played pretty well. I didn't expect him to play too well. He played all right. But dang, it's raining. And come on, Jets overtime, get your screen fixed up. Then the worst game out of these last 6 games, without a doubt, the Seattle game. There was no energy in that game. Yeah, the defense played somewhat good. I mean, that first play was absolutely terrible. And yeah, well, that was just a terrible game. We didn't want to win that game. We played with no energy. We laid an egg out in Seattle, and then we closed it out with a loss to Miami. But, well, I guess it's just same old Jets. They give you hope, but then they fall apart at the end. What can you do? Well, it's been a rough season. It's been a frustrating season. I've come on here many times. I've come on here and I'm happy. I come on here, I'm disappointed. I've come on here, I'm angry. The most angry I've been was without a doubt the second game against New England. That was the most angriest I was this year. There was no other game this season I was more angrier than that game. Okay? The most happy I came on here was probably the Buffalo win. That was without a doubt the most happiest I was when I came on here. I was happy after Green Bay, first game against Miami, Denver, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Chicago. Yep. But yeah, now we got a big offseason coming up. We got a quarterback carousel on our hands. We've had too many of those, and I think we just need to we need to draft offensive linemen. I think we need to build depth on the offensive line so we can protect our quarterback. And the offensive line just needs to stay healthy. That's what we need to do. Yeah. Not even 200 total yards of offense. We can only get 38 rushing yards. The running game has to improve at some point. It was pretty good. It was great when Brees was around, but then when Brees left, I mean, yeah, Michael Carter was pretty good. James Robinson was not too bad. I feel like I feel like James Robinson was kind of is so far he's been a waste because we've only played like what 2 games with him. He hasn't done anything. So I think we gotta do something about our running game. Bam Knight has a bright future. Um, Garrett Wilson has a big future. Yeah, that horse collar penalty really hurt us. Um, I think I think what also needs to happen is I think we might need to make a change on coaching. I think Mike LaFleur has to go. I mean, maybe I'll trust him for one more season, but if nothing changes, get him out of East Rutherford. All right, that's where we need to go. But how many minutes have I recorded for? Okay, 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna end the video here, guys. It's been a rough season, frustrating, disappointing, up and down season. Well, what can we do? All we can do is watch and complain and cry about it. That's all we can do as fans. But I'll cover the Jets over the offseason. I'll make tons of videos during draft night. I'll any big news, coaches getting fired, coaches getting hired, players getting traded, all that stuff. I'll let y'all know. But yeah, Jets finished the season 7-10, lose to Miami in the final game. Not too bad of a loss, but again, uh, we all wish that we could have some of those games that we lost back. You know what I mean? But yeah. But I'm excited for the 2023 season. I think it's going to be a big season for the Jets. That we're going to have high expectations coming into next year. I'm already raising the expectations for the Jets. Playoffs. I just want playoffs. I don't care if we get crushed in the first round. I just want to make the playoffs. This is what I want. And this is what all Jets fans want. All right? I just want to go to the I just want to go I want to go to the playoffs, all right? I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for the support on all my Jets videos, all my Jets live streams, my 3 live streams this season for games. Yeah, it means a lot to me, and I'll be back next year, all right? I will be back next year for the 2023-24 New York Jets football season. See you guys later, and go Jets!